We are in the world of Hanukkah, my dear friends, and this is exceptionally exciting because Hanukkah, as we mentioned yesterday, Hanukkah is the language of chinuch. Chinuch means to help teach us. What are we learning about? What are we gaining by this time of Hanukkah? We are learning all about that Hanukkah will teach us about the days of Mashiach. That the main teaching, the main chinuch, the main education that we're going through by Hanukkah is to teach us what things will be like when the Messiah comes. And therefore there's a great light that will open up during Hanukkah, which is called the light of the Or HaGanuz, the hidden light. Hanukkah is a time of the hidden light, and therefore very, very important to know that during Hanukkah you can get glimpses into the way the world will look when Mashiach comes. So use your Hanukkah very, very wisely. Make sure not to do things that would otherwise not be so good to do. Because on Hanukkah you're going to get the chinuch, you're going to get the light, you're going to see the person that you could become when Mashiach comes. And therefore use your time very wisely. It's interesting, even in the halachic poskim, they advise a person against doing things which are like very secular, very Hellenistic on Hanukkah. And they actually name names. There's a few things they mention to mamish stay away from. One of them is playing cards. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dreidel, you know what a dreidel is, my friend? The dreidel is the first Jewish meditative tool. A dreidel is a meditative device. We'll get to dreidel. We need to work our way up to dreidel. The dreidel is a meditative device. A dreidel is not a gambling toy. That's fake news. That's fake news, Rabbi Isai. Somebody lied to you. That's not what the dreidel is. The dreidel is a meditative tool where you're taking squares and turning them into circles. Because when the dreidel is stationary, it's a square. When you spin the dreidel, you turn it into a circle. You're turning squares into circles. We'll talk more about that. But the dreidel is a deep meditation. And no playing cards. Those are all squares. So, as we mentioned, that Chanukah is a time of chinuch. Chanukah is teaching us about the days that are coming. I'd like to begin a series now on the hidden light that will reveal itself on Chanukah. So the Torah says, Bereshis bar Elokim eisa shamayim veisa aretz. And in the beginning of God's creating the heavens and the earth, and Hashem said, Yehi or, let there be light. What was this light? This is not sunlight, because the sun only comes on day 4. The light that was created is the hidden light. This is called the Or HaGanuz, which is referred to the great light that says that this light, Adam Arishan could peer and gaze from one end of the world to the other. This was a light that would let you look into the souls of other human beings. This was a light that would let you see into the future. This is a light that would teach you who you are in your essence. This was a light that would guide you to understand the world in a very deep, profound way. That a man was tsoifa boim is tsoifa oilam ad tsoifa. And with this light, we could do powerful things. And God said that this light is so powerful that if this light came into the wrong hands, it would not be good. So what did God do? God hid this light. That's why it's called the Or HaGanuz, the hidden light. God took this light and He said, I'm going to let this light shine for 36 hours. What were the 36 hours that the light was shining? The 12 hours that Adam and Chava were in the garden Erev Shabbos, and the 24 hours that they were in the garden on Shabbos, which is also amazing that you see that God allowed that even after Adam ate from the Eitz Hadas, that He still said, we're going to let this light stay with you. And the light remained with Adam all Shabbos, Adam had never seen darkness because he was born when it was day. And then all of Leil Shabbos it was light. And all Shabbos it was light. And then the first time he started seeing darkness was Motzi Shabbos. And it was getting dark. And man thought that the world was ending. And that's where Adam created fire. And that's why we have the Boirei Me'oirei Ha'esh of Havdalah. The Havdalah is the fire that Adam made, Motzi Shabbos, because the light, the Or HaGanaz was leaving him and the world was getting dark. So he needed physical fire. But that physical fire would hint to this great Or HaGanaz. But where did God hide this light, my friends? It said that God hid this light in the Torah. Let's go. God hid this light in the Torah. And therefore the tzaddikim, all the generations had access to this light that would let them see from one end of the world to the other, would let them see into the souls of human beings, would let them see into the future. Amen. This is the light. This is the Or HaGanaz. Hey, Yisrael, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. Hashem didn't create fire. Adam created fire.
Adam. So this is something amazing. So the Gemara says that Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, Matana tovi yesh li bebeis ganazi. Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, I have this very special gift in my hiding place, in my beis ganazi, or haganaz, in my special hidden treasure house. This Shabbos Shema. And this gift is called Shabbos. Go and tell Klal Yisrael that I have this gift that I want to give them. So we see here that Hashem gave us Shabbos not in a big way. It was given almost in a subtle, quiet way, but tznius. He told Moshe Rabbeinu, go reveal that there's this secret called Shabbos. Lech v'hoidiyam. And the Gemara says, Matan schar aloi oidineu. I will tell you about Shabbos, but I'm not telling you all of the reward and all the great light that you will really get from Shabbos. Because you know what this is? The light of Shabbos is the Or HaGanaz. On Shabbos, you could also get this hidden light. To the degree that you prepare for Shabbos, you will also see this light. And you know what this light is? You know where this light appears? This light is the soul that expands on Shabbos, called your neshama yisera. Doesn't mean you get another soul. It means that your soul is yoter, it's more. The neshama that you already have is more awakened, is more sensitized, is more receptive to this light. This is the Or HaGanaz shining in your soul. And this is what the prophet Isaiah 58 says. Now you will have this pleasure. Al Hashem. This is an oneg, a pleasure, by tapping into your neshama yisera, by touching the Or HaGanaz, that there's no greater pleasure than this. And this is a pleasure that's known as a nachala bli meitzarim, an inheritance that has no end. It's a pleasure that has no borders, there's no boundaries, just like the Or HaGanaz would let you see from one end of the world to the other. So to the pleasure of this light that is awakening in your neshama yisera on Shabbos has no end. And it's something that's very deep. And whenever there's more blessing to something, Hashem has to keep it hidden. And therefore, according to how much in your own heart you're preparing for Shabbos Kodesh, you could reveal this light. But there's a time of the year that this light comes out in full force. And this is going to be the chinuch that we'll see ultimately that Mashiach is going to reveal this light to us. And the time that this light comes out in full force is the 36 candles of Hanukkah, corresponding to the 36 hours that Adam and Chava were in Gan Eden with this light. So as you light every night, light number 1, the Or HaGanuz is shining. And the second day, 2 candles. The third day, 3 candles. Until the light is spreading all over the world. Now we know that's according to Beis Hillel. Why Beis Shammai, who goes 8 candles the first night, 7, 6, and ends at 1? It's because Beis Hillel is that the light should spread to the whole world. But Beis Shammai is that the whole world should zone in like a laser beam to the 1. That instead of going from 1 to 8, it's spreading this way. Beis Shammai says, let's bring the world this way into a single point. That the whole world will come to that point of God unity, down to 1 candle, absolute unity consciousness. And that's why the halacha is going to be like Beis Shammai when Mashiach comes. It says before Mashiach comes, the halacha is like Beis Hillel. We have to spread the light. But when Mashiach comes, the halacha is going to be like Beis Shammai, that we're going to bring the light and zone it into a single point of unity of all humanity. And therefore this light is an unbelievable light, and it comes out on Chanukah. Yes, Ben?
I thought that after Mashiach comes, we will only celebrate Purim.
It says compared to the other holidays, it will be as if it's batel, but we will still have all the holidays. But the light of Purim will be so great, it will be as if this is the ultimate holiday.
Wouldn't 9th of Avos become a celebration?
Also, it's going to be a day of simcha. Nepach l'sosun l'simcha koroi elai moyed. It's a day that's already prepared to be a big Yom Tov. Also Shvasar B'Tammuz, Sar B'Tevis. All the difficult fast days will become great days of celebration. So says the Tifer Shloim is something amazing. He says like this. Kikein derech ha'adam l'salach be'erbuvia. It's the way of a person in this world to get very mixed up. Sometimes he does things that he wants to do. Other times he follows things that are not so good for him. And he looks himself in the mirror and he says, I don't really respect the person that I see, sadly. Pam noitel et tzara choshech. Sometimes a person goes to places of darkness, and sometimes he goes to places of light. But through the kedusha of Shabbos, as nisgalia or agonus, if a person prepares for Shabbos properly, then what comes out on Shabbos? We said the hidden light. The hidden light comes out for you, and your zoichel is parish olahavdo min achitzonim. If you experience Shabbos properly, you can get such a great light that as you go back into the week of your buvia, of challenge, you won't be mixed up anymore. You won't be lost anymore. You won't be anxious anymore. You'll have light. You have great clarity. And this is what the Pasuk says, Ki derech rishoyim ka'afela. Like Shlomo HaMelech, the great King Solomon said in Proverbs, that it's the way of wicked people to just go in darkness. They walk in a world as if they're in darkness. Now, they may tell you, look, I'm in Times Square, I'm trading stocks. What do you mean? It's light everywhere. It's darkness, because they're going to their animal self. And that's exactly why those that have spent so many years in darkness, it's hard for them to experience the light of Shabbos. They're not preparing for it. They're not opening their hearts to it. Now look at this. The darkness we're talking about is different than you might think. It says that the people of Sodom, were they bad people? Sodom, Sodom and Gomorrah? These are bad people. These are bad people. It was prohibited, it was usher to do acts of kindness for your friend. Could you imagine? You can't do kindness? If you hosted somebody in your house and gave them some tea and crumpets, you're done, cooked, finished, finito. They would kill a person. So these are bad people. So it says that they were punished, that they all became blind. They became blind. How so? Because when the angels came to destroy Sodom, what did they do? So he says a very deep thing. The angels didn't come and just like drop some bombs or something. The angels came and they started to shine light. Ki hamalachim imshichu or ha'elyon. The angels came and they opened up this channel of light. But because they weren't able to receive this light, it's like a person who had been in a dark place, in a dungeon for so long. If you put him outside in the middle of the day, so the light blinds him, it's too powerful. He hasn't seen the light. You have to help a person get used to seeing the light. So because they were so not used to the light, as soon as it became bright, it blinded them. Like a person who's looking up at the sun. Also Avram Avinu, an amazing insight. Says, who was hanging out with Avram Avinu? Lot. Remember that? Lot is hanging out with Avram Avinu. And then he tells Lot, we have to part ways. Tifer Shlomo says that was Shabbos. He was telling Lot that the light that is about to come down here is so powerful that you won't be able to handle this. That you'll get burned up by this light. L'chein gam kein Avram Avinu k'sheyigia yom HaShabbos lo yuchlu aroim shel Lot liyos imoy. That all of Lot's shepherds, they just couldn't stay there. They're like, we got to book it. It's getting too bright here. It's too much light here. Ki esparish misitra achra v'lezei lo yuchlu l'shavis yachtav. They couldn't stay together. Ki b'Shabbos lo yuchlu liyos yachtav. L'chein amar lo hi pared na me'olai. So he said, I think it's a good idea we part ways because I see that this light is too powerful. K'mo yishikosu yispardu kol polei oven b'mizmor shir shel yom HaShabbos. But at Tzadik Etomer Yifrach, we also learn from the Zohar that what was the 9th plague that came into Egypt? Darkness. So you probably had kids' books that when they're describing all the plagues, like the blood one, and then all the frogs everywhere, there's all pictures. So you get to the 9th plague and you just see like black everywhere. And all the mitzvahs like, it's just dark. But Klal Yisrael, there was light and the Yidden could see. So the Zohar says, no, it wasn't that it got dark. It's that God made it so bright. And for the Yidden that were able to receive that light, for them it was light. But for the Mitzrim, it was so much light, it became dark. They were blinded by it. It was a spiritual ore. It was the Or HaGanaz had opened up the hidden light in a very powerful way that they couldn't handle it. And that was the plague of darkness. So this is a very big light that's coming on Hanukkah. This is the Or HaGanaz. And this Or also opens up on Shabbos. So where did Hashem hide this light? Because if the Rishoyim got a hold of this light, and the wicked people could manipulate this light and see into the future and look into people's souls, they wouldn't do good things. So God took this light and He hid the light. Where did He hide the light? In the Torah. Because the Or HaGanaz means the light that's hidden, like the Geniza. You put your stuff in the Geniza box out there. It's still there, it's just in the Geniza. It's just hiding. So the light is in the Torah. And therefore all the generations, Shemimenu Zoichanat Tzadikim, in all the generations the Tzadikim would go to this light, and because they had this light, and they had opened their hearts up to this light, they were able to hasig pliyos nifliyoseya. They understood great, wondrous things about God. V'soides ha'Torah, the secrets of the Torah, la'ein shir ve'erech v'kates. Beyond, they knew great secrets. You know what the Baba Sali knew? Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, Ula Osed Lavoi, And in the future, when Mashiach comes, B'mehera v'yameinu, Yisgala ze ha'or, this light will come out. Who will be the greatest one that will reveal this light? Mashiach. When Mashiach comes, this light will fill the world, and people will see it. And that's what it means, that when Mashiach comes, there may be challenges to certain people, because if they haven't been used to light their whole life, they've been living in a world of Candy Crush and Breaking Bad. So what reference points do they have to the light? So the idea here is that we're trying to just get people acclimated to the light, teaching the world Torah, teaching the world the 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach, helping the world start to sensitize themselves to basic parts of the light, like God is real, and God is not a human. And everything you need, speak to God. This is a refining that the world will be ready. And like the Rambam explained, that Islam helped bring the world towards monotheism on a major scale, preparing the world for this light. And Christianity brought the world towards a messianic vision, that there will be a redemption and a redeemer, that the world will be ready once this light starts to shine. It won't be like trying to get some pagans to see the light. That's very hard for somebody who's into paganism to understand a world of God unity and a world of a messianic redemption. So the world is being prepped for this light. Yes, Yarden.
Will the Arabs, the Muslims to be exact, the Christians, will they get any merit for doing that in the world?
For sure. Anything that a person does in this world that brings truth into the world will be given reward. And all people that are righteous will then ultimately have a place in the world to come. All people that are righteous will ultimately have a place in the world to come for eternity. How long does eternity go on for, Yitz? A long time. Even more than the grains of sand in the pelican's beak. So Rabbi said, we've begun the story of the Or HaGanos, and this Or is awakening in a very big way on Chanukah. And Chanukah is the chinuch. So Chanukah is like teaching us already that this light is coming back into the world. Get yourself ready, Rabbi Isai. Get involved, because the light is coming. And therefore on Chanukah you could open yourself in a very profound way to this light, that as the light starts shining in its full grandeur, that unlike the people of Sodom who were blinded by this, and unlike the people of Egypt that were blinded by this, and it became darkness, that if we prepare ourselves like we prepare for Shabbat, that we will be able to receive this great light. And we should be Zoicha Mamish to the light of the Or HaGanos, B'mehera v'yameinu, Amen v'yamein. Have a wonderful day. Chazak u'baruch. Kol tuv Rabbi Isai.